Few things annoy me more than people who assert that atheism is the absolute certainty that no gods exist, and they won't even consider any other definition. Let's listen to this call.
The last two calls can be fairly quick. Mike in Arizona, how are you? You're on with Don and Matt.
Hey, very well. Thanks for taking my call, fellas.
So your question here is, it seems, I'm out of time, so I'm going to try to get through this really quickly, but it says, why did you choose atheism over agnosticism?
Exactly.
Those two things aren't mutually exclusive. One of them is about belief and one of them is about knowledge. It's not like agnosticism is some middle ground. You're either a theist or a non-theist, which could be labeled a soft atheist, weak atheist, whatever else. Agnosticism goes to a claim of knowledge. You can be an agnostic theist. You really can't be an agnostic non-theist, but you could be an agnostic strong atheist or anti-theist. It doesn't matter. This is about label.
Let me hit it a little different way. We define atheism as a lack of belief in gods.
Well, what about the ideal of absolutionism as well? I mean, if I'm trained as a scientist, and I've learned that
there could be a God hiding under a rock on the other side of the universe, and we wouldn't know. And so,
say that one more time for me.
There could be a God hiding under a rock on the other side of the universe, and we'd never know.
But we don't have a reason to believe it.
I agree with you.
But we don't have a reason to believe it, and therefore we would lack belief, and therefore we're calling that
No, I don't believe in it yet either. I've seen nothing to sway me into the realm of any kind of spirituality, but I just think atheism is too absolute for me.
It's not absolute. We just fucking told you. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I think a lot of callers, they're so excited when they come onto the Atheist Experience or one of the other shows. They know what they want to say, but they don't listen to what's being said back. It doesn't really quite process, and I can only imagine that this particular caller just did not listen to anything that Matt said or anything that Don said. So I see comments now and again along the lines that, well, I'm an agnostic because there's no hard evidence either way. There's no hard evidence to prove atheism. There's no hard evidence to prove theism. So I'm an agnostic. I probably should not respond to these comments. I should probably allow you guys to deal with them. But it's very, very frustrating, particularly when people will not accept any other definition other than the one that they've decided, which is the correct definition for them. And they won't listen to anything else. Definitions really are not that important in terms of, I mean, it's what you believe and why, or what you don't believe. So then you can put a label on that. And if you're not comfortable with the label atheism, well, I suppose you could find some other label. And in that case, I don't really care too much. But what I do care about is when you say to them, do you believe in God? And they say, oh, I'm an agnostic. And then when you point out to them that, well, Gnosticism refers to knowledge. In other words, the near certainty that something is actually true or untrue. And what we're talking about is belief. Belief is something different. Belief is the acceptance that a proposition is true, but not to that almost absolute degree of certainty. So belief and knowledge in that sense are two different things. So you can explain this to somebody, and then you will say, okay, well, now that I've explained that to you, do you believe in God? And then they will say something like, I told you I don't know. There's not enough evidence to decide. And really, I mean, at that point, frankly, the conversation is over. You've explained what belief is. Everybody has beliefs. We couldn't exist in the world unless we had beliefs. But for some reason, there's a group of people who like to call themselves agnostics, and they refuse to say whether or not they believe in God or not. And for me, these people are a waste of space. If they're not prepared to communicate and go into a dialogue, then there's really nothing. There's really nothing to say, because they're being evasive. I tend to think people who try to draw this equivalence and say, well, you know, atheism needs hard evidence and so does theism, and we haven't really got that hard evidence, so I'm going to go for agnosticism. I tend to think that these people are really like theists who don't want to say so, but they want to equivocate the two positions, like atheism, the rejection of God, is on the same level from an epistemological point of view as theism, and it's just not. Even if I was asserting that there are no gods, that is a more epistemologically sound position, in my view, than asserting that there is a God, because when you're making a positive claim, you have a stronger onus to provide evidence for your claim. Okay, well, that's all I've got to say for now. Let me know what you thought of the call, and obviously my comments on atheism, theism, and obviously agnosticism. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.